What's poppin', everyone? It's your boy Appear and we're back again for another banger video. Alright guys, so today we'll be looking at a couple of indices, mainly Nasdaq, US30, probably Ger30, and then we're gonna have a look at maybe like GBPJPY. Okay, cool. So you'll be analyzing 4 of these trades today, and firstly we'll be starting with Nasdaq. Alright, so one of the things that I normally like to do is since we're already within the week, one thing that I would like to do is start basically on the daily frame. Now on the daily frame, it's basically about me understanding the trend, like what type of trend did we actually get here. So one thing I'm gonna do is cater for my highest high, and then probably cater for my lowest low, and then I'll cater for areas of significance importance, like right over here. This was a very important level. Now remember guys, if you do not know how to see for your important levels, you could just use your line chart, and then your line chart is just basically going to show you which areas are suitable for your your important levels of entry. Alright, so we have something that looks like this. Now one thing that we do really need to notice here, take note, is that we have a breakout here. This could be a potential break and a retest, structuring to position all the way towards the upside. Right, that's one way of having a look at this. So one thing that I can say is with Nasdaq, we can look for opportunities towards the top side, right? Because we also have our first touch here, our second touch here. Remember, it takes 2 touches to create a trend. You have our first touch, second touch, and we're currently at our third touch right over here, which could give us a possible impulse all the way towards the upside, right? So we have something that looks like this. Now one thing that I would normally like to do is clean up my chart, so I would just have like a minor box right over here, and then I can delete this one. Then I could delete that line right over there. Have a clean chart. Clean charts are important, guys. You need to have clean charts. And then maybe I could cater for this level here, because if we get to see clearly, is that this level presented us with a beautiful double top at this particular level right there. So one thing I'm going to do is dive down towards the 4-hour. Now in the 4-hour, that's the same thing that I do, is I reload my chart, and then I try finding as many places as possible, as many plays as possible, right? So we have a touch here, a touch there, and we're currently expecting a touch over there. Now one thing that I say that this is a significant level, let me just write that down so I will remember. This is a significant zone, rather, right? The reason why I say this is a significant zone is because structure has tested this place here quite a number of times, giving us a nice clean breakout here. So we have structure that looks like this. So one thing that I would say is I would definitely be looking for a bias position, although it towards the upside, but we need to get confirmation on such a trade. So one thing that we would do basically is have like a nice clean structure looking like so, and then perhaps maybe one that would look a little bit like this, right? But that's something that we would definitely have to look into on a smaller frame. So we jump straight towards the 1-hour. Now in the 1-hour frame, similar things guys, we work similarly, like it doesn't change. It's basically the same thing over and over again. So what do we see here we see a series of higher highs and higher lows. We have a higher high, a higher low, a higher high. We have a sequence of lower highs and lower lows. My bad guys, my bad, right? So we have a sequence of lower highs and lower lows, where we have our first high, then we have our lower low, then we have a lower high, a lower low, and then right now it happens that we are climbing a little bit, like we're climbing a little bit. So which means that now, in order for me to take a clear trade out at this level here, is I would firstly wait for a nice clean impulse towards this level here, because one thing that we do realize is that structure has been creating a series of higher highs and higher lows. See, so one thing that we're expecting right now is the break and the retest that will take structural prices all the way towards the upside. So if we dive straight towards the 15-minute, you see what structure seems to be giving us at this particular leg right over here. We'll be looking at structure at this particular level. But if we dive straight towards the hourly frame, one thing that we do notice is that structure has had an important level right over here. So this is indeed an important level of structure that we would have to wait to respect. If we do respect it, then that's good. But for now, on Nasdaq, we will be buying Nasdaq all the way towards this level right over here. We'll be buying Nasdaq all the way towards that level right over there. Okay, cool. So let's just Right. See, so we buy Nasdaq all the way towards that level up top right over there. Now, one thing that many people fail to realize is that structure moves the same throughout. All you just have to do is just know which structure is perfect for you when you want to take it, and see if all your conditions are met before taking that type of structure. Because for me, I have my first touch, my second touch, and my third touch, which gives me a nice clean confirmation that we broke out of this here level structure. We had a break off structure over here, only for us to come back and retest in a flag type pattern, in a flag type motion, which tells us that price would indeed want to shoot all the way towards the upside. So that's my look on Nasdaq. Let's jump down to the next one, US30. US30, same principles do indeed follow. We jump straight towards the daily frame. The daily frame, we cater for our higher highs and our higher lows. We cater for our higher highs. This is our highest high currently, and then we have this as our lowest low currently. Right, perfect. Looking like that, and then we have our important level right over here. We have a significant level right over here where structure has been moving in important levels. So if you cannot see, remember, you guys can always do this. Just jump straight towards your frame, towards your line chart. Your line chart will show you all the important levels there as follows. Right, okay, cool. Then we're just going to dive straight towards the 4 hour. Now in the 4 hour, things tend to look a little bit more interesting here, right? So one thing that I would normally do is I would normally try fixing my lines, just to get them to cater for as many touches as possible. There we go. Remember that these are just wick rejections in the daily frame, right? So here's what we see now. If I had to connect my charts right over here, one thing that I would see is structure has been moving like so. But if I had to connect my charts, yeah, like that, nice. I think this looks a bit better. Yes, it does. One thing that I do notice is that structure has been already broken out of this particular level right over there, and we are currently looking for a beautiful swing position towards the downside. Remember, guys, to trade every single thing in accordance to its own merits. Right, just because one thing goes up doesn't mean that the other thing will also go up, So let's just jump straight towards the hourly frame to get a clearer picture of what's happening here. Right, so here's what the US30 has been giving us. Now we are currently in a ranging chart. Like this is practically ranging, where we had a series of important legs right over here. You see the structure shot up, and then right now we are currently at a series of important legs right over there. So one thing that I would normally do is I would normally wait and see how structure reacts at this particular level here before I take either a buy entry or a sell entry right there, because one of the things that I see is that with US30, it's not a clean trade. It's not a clean trade because, for one, I haven't yet retested this particular level, which gives me a nice clear confirmation that we're gonna sell in the long term, and we also haven't yet broken up over this level here to give me a nice clear indication that we're either gonna buy or we're gonna sell. So with US30 is basically a stagnate. It's all about patience with US30. You just have to wait for it, and then it's just gonna give you the move that you're currently looking for. Because if you had to go again and look at your moving averages, your moving averages do indeed show that structure is now swinging above this type of structure here, so which means that there could be strong possible plays for a buyer's movement. But if you look at our trades on overall trajectory, one thing that we do notice is that we have been playing along this important level, and it's only a matter of time before we see like an important spike either going upwards or towards the downside. So all we just gotta do is just be patient with it, and then yeah, it's gonna pull through eventually. So now we can go straight towards the German index, my favorite, the Germans. Right, so we start off on the daily frame. On the daily frame, one of the things that we look for is our higher highs and our higher lows. You remember that, ne? We look for our lowest low right over here, we look for our highest high right over there. And then we look for an area where structure is giving us a significant threat, then I would clearly say we currently looking at somewhere around this particular level here. Yeah, I can say we can look at this particular level here. There's no need for us to actually go too far up because structure did pose, some form of a rejection at that particular level. So one thing that I would do is I just look at that particular rejection and I would trade off of what I see. Right, so structure has been pushing higher highs and higher lows for the past couple of days, and one thing that we do realize is that now we are currently at an important level right over here. The structures are now trading at an important level right over here. Now the best way for us to trade this is if we dive straight towards smaller frames and then we look at it. Now you remember one thing, guys, is that when we trade, we always trade higher highs and higher lows. You see, we trade higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Now one thing that many people do not understand is, this is where we find our entries. This is where we find our entries. The moment structure pushes up, we buy. Then we know once we buy, eventually structure is going to want to sell. So once it pushes down for a sell, we also sell, keeping our buy positions, guys. And then once we here, we will buy again, knowing very well that structure would want to sell. And then once structure reaches here, we would sell all the way till this particular level here. Now once structure has reached this level, and then we start looking for potential buys again. See, we're buying the lows and we're selling the highs. That's basically what trading is. You buy the lows and you sell the highs. So that's what structure has been giving us right over here, you see. So structure has been moving nicely and cleanly, where we did buy, this is not right, okay, where we did buy our high, then we sold our low, then we bought our high, we sold our low, bought our high, sold our low, bought our high, sold our low, and then now we can potentially look for another buyer's movement towards the upper side. Right, but now one thing that I like about this is that structure, it isn't giving us a clear clean entry, but if you dive straight towards the line chart and then you place a nice beautiful line over here, then you realize that now structure is currently playing at this particular level, which means that now we have a beautiful break of structure at that particular level and a beautiful retest of structure at this level here, which gives us an interjection that structure is going to want to shoot all the way towards the upside eventually. Right, remember guys, we only follow what the chart gives us. We don't trade in accordance with our own merit. We first look at what structure is giving us, how is the structure working towards what it has been giving us, and where can we benefit. Right, so let's look at it like this. So we have structure looking like that. Let's use this guy. There we go, change color just like that. So let's remove this line because we already understand what structure has been giving us. So we have that, and then we also have this in accordance to our structure. Now one thing that we do know is that a break of structure can give us an indication that structure is going to want to shoot all the way towards the upper side. Right, so one thing that I would basically do is I would wait for structure to move away from this particular level right here, for us to break above this level right here before I take my buy entry all the way towards top side. This is going to be a clear, clean, reduced risk entry. And when I take this risk entry, I know what structure that I'm gonna potentially shoot all the way towards the upside. But for now, it's best to aim for the smaller take profits, because you can never know what structure is gonna give you as time goes by. So yeah, just jump straight towards the hourly frame. Have a look at it a little bit more neatly. Have a nice stop loss somewhere around over there, a nice tight stop loss, and then maybe I would say profit level could be around 90% through. Jump straight towards the 15-minute, and then this is exactly what structure has actually been giving us. This is a nice clean level. I could risk so much to make that amount of money right there. Right, perfect. I could risk this amount. Alright, so this looks good, guys. This looks good. This looks nice. It looks clean. Alright, let me just do this. It's best to change time frames every now and then, guys, so that your charts and your structure can look as clean as possible. Right, so that's our Ger30. So let's just have a look at GBPJPY. Right, GBPJPY, this has been trending for quite some time now, Structure has been trending for quite some time, giving us a clear series of higher lows and higher highs. One thing, if you cannot see what structure is giving you, just switch straight towards the line chart. Once you have the line chart, you can start trading what you see. So structure has been moving for us in such a manner. You see? Now everything just seems to be a lot more cleaner. Now structure has been moving in such a manner for us. Right, so what do we notice here? Okay, see, so we have this beautiful cut over there. Right, so one thing that I could do is I could just basically wait for this, just trade the highs and trade the lows, you know. So we have this particular important level right over there as well, and then we also have that level right over there as well. So this is how structure is actually working for us as of today. So we're gonna jump straight towards the 4 hour. Now remember, the 4 hour chart, it's basically the same thing, you know. So all you just gotta do is just make sure that every single thing that you do just happens to be a lot more neater, a lot more sharper, and a lot more cleaner, you know. Remember guys, clean charts will actually save you a lot when you're trading your forex. It will save you a lot. So you understand that structure has been moving in such a formation. Right, structure has been moving in such formations for us. What does that mean? It means that now we just gotta wait and see how structure will react at this particular high level here. Remember guys, structure moves in highs and lows. So if you understand the highs and the lows, then you would know when to place the trade. Right, so we have structure like so. We have our first touch, our second touch, and basically our third touch with a nice beautiful position all the way towards the upside. So what I would do is I would basically start buying from this level here all the way towards the upside, because overall I know that GBPJPY is going to want to sell, showing that what it gives me. So it's only going to sell from my point of view from here until somewhere around here before structure decides to either want to push prices towards the downside, you know. Right, so let's just cater for that level right over there as well. Right, so this is basically what I'll be looking at when I look at GBPJPY. I understand structure and understand this trend, and then one of the things that I do notice is that structure is going to want to do this, then do that, then do that at this particular time or place, right? So once you as a trader understand what structure is wanting to give you, then it would be a lot more easier for you to trade, you know, your favorite pair. It would be a lot more easier for you to trade your favorite pair. So let me just zoom in with this one and just fix it, make it look a little bit more neat. Cater for as many touches as possible. Okay, cool. So now that we notice what structure has been giving us, what I would do is I would now start looking for my basic patterns, you know, look for my type of patterns that I like to trade. You know, so these are the type of patterns that I normally like to trade. My wedges and my channels. One thing that you should remember is that the charts are never perfect. I would take this because I know that this is a beautiful wick. This is a wick rejection, so I know that when structure gives me something like this, I would just paint it off as that. Now, one thing that I would do is the moment structure chooses to break out at this particular level, gives me a break of structure, is the time where I would place my beautiful buy position all the way towards the upside. That's how I would trade such a position. Perfect, perfect. Our so guys, this is exactly what it is that we are looking at when we're saying we're trading our US30, our German 30, our Nasdaq, and also our GBPJPY. Like these are basically my top picks for the week, and like almost every other week, as structure just moves in such beautiful ways for me to trade them. It makes it very easy for me. So one thing that I want you guys to do or walk away with here today is, if you guys want to trade, pick at least 6 pairs that you want to look at on a daily structure, and study those pairs, because the moment you understand how a certain pair will move, how it does move, then it will be a lot more easier for you to make your money, guys. So yeah, having with that being said, I wish you guys well, and yeah, until next time, cheers guys.